You know that gut punch feeling when you're chilling at home, thinking everything's fine, and suddenly your heart just plummets because something's off. Way off. I was kicking back in my den one Tuesday night in our quiet little pocket of Willow Creek, sipping the last of my black coffee, when I caught these faint thuds from upstairs, like someone sneaking around in socks on hardwood. And my place. It should have been dead empty. No wife home yet. Kids at college. Just me and the hum of the fridge. Panic hit like a cold wave. I grabbed this chunky old wrench from the side table. 'Cause who keeps a bat handy? And tiptoed up those creaky stairs, each step feeling louder than a drum in the silence. Sweat prickling my neck as I hit the landing and peeked into my study, and there he was. This skinny kid, maybe 17, digging through my desk drawers like it was his junk drawer at home, papers flying, my tax files scattered. His eyes went wide when he spotted me, but instead of bolting, he just grinned this cocky little smirk like he'd won the lottery. "You can't touch me," he drawled, voice all smug and entitled, leaning back against my bookshelf as if we were pals chatting. "My mom's the big shot around here, runs the whole neighborhood association, says I can check whatever I want." I froze for a second, brain reeling. Did this punk just break into my house and pull the mommy's in charge card? My blood started simmering, not just from the invasion, but that arrogance, like he owned the block because his family had wormed their way into power, twisting those stupid association rules into a free pass for whatever. Turns out, his mom, Brenda, had been lording over Willow Creek for years, fining folks left and right for violations that funded her ego trips. All because she craved control after her messy divorce left her feeling powerless, and now she'd roped her kid into it, teaching him that rules only apply to little people. I snapped back, voice low and shaking with fury. "Kid, get the hell out of my house before I make you." But he didn't budge, just crossed his arms, chuckling like it was a joke, muttering, "Cops won't care. Mom says types like you are just renters in her world anyway." That did it. That casual dismissal hitting deep, reminding me of all the times I'd bitten my tongue at association meetings, watching her bully neighbors into silence. I yanked out my phone right there, dialing 911 with my thumb trembling, warning him, "Last chance, Dylan, or you're explaining this to Badges, not your mom." He laughed harder, all bravado, but I could see the flicker in his eyes, that tiny crack where doubt crept in. Sirens wailed closer within minutes, blue lights bouncing off the walls like some late-night thriller, cops bursting in. 2 officers, no-nonsense types, and Dylan's smirk melted fast as they grabbed his arms, him yelling, "You can't do this! Mom's got pull! She'll sue your asses!" But they just clicked the cuffs, one cop shaking his head with a dry laugh. "Son, your mom's clipboard doesn't trump breaking and entering." And as they hauled him out, his protests echoing down the hall, I stood there breathing heavy, a chill settling in my bones despite the relief, because this wasn't over. No way. That kid's entitlement screamed family business, and if he felt bold enough to rifle through my stuff once, what poison was Brenda brewing next? Deep down, it gnawed at me. This violation stripping away that safe feeling a home's supposed to have, turning my sanctuary into a battleground, all over some twisted power play, where Brenda used the association to mask her insecurities, punishing anyone who didn't bow, like me, the guy who'd questioned her fence height fines at the last meeting. Sure enough, dawn barely cracked the next day when pounding rattled my front door. I knew it was her before I even peeked, and there stood Brenda, all polished in her yoga pants and oversized shades pushed up on her highlighted hair, arms folded tight, foot tapping like a metronome on steroids, fury radiating off her like heat from asphalt. "You crossed a line calling the cops on my boy," she hissed the second I cracked the door, voice sharp as a knife. "Do you even know who you're messing with? I'm the president here. I decide what's allowed." I rubbed my eyes, still half asleep, but anger bubbling up quick. "Yeah, Brenda, I know exactly. The mom whose kid snuck into my study and treated it like a garage sale." Her face twisted, nostrils flaring as she shoved a wad of forms at me. "He was inspecting you, idiot. Association rules give us access for compliance checks. Your blinds are non-standard, by the way. Expect a fine. I almost snorted. Inspecting my drawers? What a load. But I held it together, feeling that deep-seated clash boiling. Her need to dominate clashing with my refusal to be steamrolled, rooted in her fear of losing grip after years of unchallenged reign, scaring folks like the quiet Ramirez family next door into paying hush money for porch light infractions. Brenda, I said steady, leaning on the frame. The law arrested him, not me. Your fancy title doesn't rewrite burglary statutes. For a beat, her eyes widened, that mask slipping as she realized I wasn't caving like the others. Then she spat. You'll regret this. Fines stacking up, blacklisted from sales. I'll make sure you crawl out of here broke. And stormed off, but not before I caught her glancing back, plotting already, her SUV lurking across the street all afternoon, phone pressed to her ear like she was calling in favors. That kicked off her revenge blitz. Petty as hell, but relentless. First a note about my driveway cracks, violating curb appeal. Then one for my mailbox being 2 inches off alignment, piling up to 8 bogus citations in a week, each one a jab meant to wear me down, her way of reasserting control. Driven by that personal vendetta since I'd spoken up against her hiking dues for her beautification projects that mostly lined her pockets. But here's where it flipped. I didn't rage or hide. Nah, I got strategic, snapping pics of every notice, recording her drive-bys on my phone, even chatting with old Mr. Ramirez, who whispered about her strong-arming him for years, his voice shaky but grateful someone was pushing back, and when Dylan struck again, this time caught on the Thompson's garage cam pocketing tools, claiming borrowing rights under association perks, that video sealed it, showing the family pattern of entitlement gone rogue. I looped in the detective, good guy, no BS, and he nodded. Keep logging. This ties her harassment to the crimes, her throne's cracking. It felt good, that shift from victim to fighter, reflecting on how her grip had isolated everyone, breeding resentment under the surface, like a community holding its breath. But the real fireworks? That humid afternoon when her SUV idled out front again, engine purring like a threat. I ignored it, knowing the cops were en route. And sure enough, 2 cruisers eased in quiet, officers striding to her door with purpose. Knocks echoed, then her shriek cut the air. This is outrageous! You can't touch me! I'm in charge here! Door flying open as they pulled Dylan out first, him kicking and yelling. Mom said it's fine. Let go. Then Brenda, waving her association binder like a shield, face red and frantic. These docs prove my authority. Back off or face lawsuits. But the cops didn't blink, reading charges slow and clear. Harassment, intimidation, aiding burglary, her empire shattering right there on the lawn as cuffs snapped shut, her threats turning to whines. Neighbors trickled out, Mr. Ramirez smiling faint, the Thompsons clapping quiet, whispers rippling like a wave. About time, the spell breaking, air lighter as the cars pulled away, leaving Willow Creek feeling free, like we'd all exhaled after too long underwater. Later, detective called. Kids locked up. Brenda's facing real time. No more queen bee. Sitting on my porch that night, peace settling in, I realized it wasn't just my fight. It cracked open the whole neighborhood's cage, showing how one bully's hunger for power can poison everything. But standing up, that changes the game. Still, it makes you think, was calling the cops the only way, or could talking have fixed it? Did I escalate too quick, or was her grip too tight for words? What about you? Ever dealt with a neighborhood tyrant like that? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Right or wrong moves, justice served, or community clashes you've seen. Hit like if this resonated, subscribe for more real deal stories, and share your take, 'cause your experiences keep these convos alive.